AI may not replace you, but somebody who knows AI will replace you.
Exactly. So we work a lot with, like for me, the biggest problem that we're trying to solve is how do we use the change that AI is bringing as an accelerant to really shift the workplace to better serve humanity? Right. I think after the pandemic, after all, it feels like the whole world is we're going through so many changes, right? Whether it is environmental, political, there's just so many things that are going on. AI, technology, work, the pandemic. And so we really focus on helping people understand how to ride the wave of change and at the same time be really taking advantage of like the technology.
Welcome to A Founder's Life. I'm your host, Leo Gestetner. On this show, we dive into the real stories behind the highs and lows of entrepreneurship and how we pursue a more balanced and meaningful life along the way. This podcast is sponsored by Thanks, helping founders like us scale with reliable remote talent. I'll share more about that. But if you email founders@thanks.com, that's THANKZ.com with the subject line A Founder's Life, you'll get $1,000 off your first month. Now, I'm excited to be joined by Lori Kirkland. Lori, great to have you here. Would you kick things off by introducing yourself?
Sure, Leo. Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. I am a co-founder of a AI enablement agency called DeepHumanX. I have been in technology for 20 years and really focus on helping organizations build a practical AI-ready culture by looking at the human side of the equation.
Of that. And talk to us a little bit about your journey that got you to where you are today and a little more about your business.
Sure. So I started my career as a neuroscience researcher, and then I went into the corporate world as kind of technology came to light with the internet, and I've spent the last couple decades. I have done management consulting. I have been an executive at a Fortune 500. I have had other companies along the way. And about 2 years ago, I just felt a lot of burnout from being at the corporate world and decided that the change that I needed to see, right, for myself and within the corporate workspace wasn't really available, or other companies weren't doing it. So I took the plunge and went back to entrepreneur life and have really been having a ball since then.
I love that. It's great to come back to the entrepreneurial life. And talk a little more about what your current business is actually doing and how you're helping your clients and what a typical client looks like.
Sure. So we work a lot with small and medium-sized businesses, but we're seeing a lot of large organizations interest as well. But we focus on, as AI is bringing a lot of changes to not only the technology landscape, it's really shifting and changing the way that you have to lead. And so at my company, DeepHumanX, we actually work with executive teams, boards, and, just project teams or department teams to help them understand and bring the team along the change. So we really focus on, we are technology agnostic, but we focus on helping organizations to use AI as a tool within the team environment. And then we do a lot of work with leaders on helping. So we do consulting engagements, we do workshops, we do all sorts of assessments, but we really work to help move and change the mindset of people so that they can faster and better adopt the technology rather than just chasing a product or kind of the next wave, because AI is moving so fast. And because we understand the technology, we're trying to really give hacks by using the human operating system. So we use a lot of like biohacks so that people can understand and shift their mindset to really understand how to take advantage of the technology, not only for the short term for like efficiency, but really to start changing what their cultures and their businesses, how they operate, because the old legacy playbook is just not going to keep up with how fast of a change everything is happening in the workplace today.
That's true. AI may not replace you, but somebody who knows AI will replace you.
Exactly. So we work a lot with, like for me, the biggest problem that we're trying to solve is how do we use the change that AI is bringing as an accelerant to really shift the workplace to better serve humanity? right? I think after the pandemic, after all, it feels like the whole world is, we're going through so many changes, right? Whether it is environmental, political, there's just so many things that are going on, AI, technology, work, the pandemic. And so we really focus on helping people understand how to ride the wave of change. And at the same time, be really taking advantage of like the technology. It's like having, for me, I feel like it's like having, my own team of 10 personal assistants and researchers because of the amount of work I can get done. And it really is about a small mindset shift of going from a stable linear thinking to exponential thinking of how do we actually make bigger impacts because we don't have as many tech restraints as we used to.
Nice. That sounds like something that's definitely needed. And
yes.
Talk to us a little bit about your family, what family means to you.
Well, so family is very important to me. I'm very close with my family, grew up in Michigan, here in the States. And then now I live in Colorado. I have 2 daughters. I went through an experience last year where my husband passed away after 25 years. So I would say in my life right now, the importance of family is really my main priority, right? Like, it's, I've got 2 girls who are amazing and the pandemic, getting all that intimate time with them when you were home and not just running busy schedules really helped me realize and, how important and how that's my real work in this world. So family is very, very important to me. And one of the things that I really strive and work, and I have to work on it sometimes because, I was up working till midnight last night, but I have to, always balance it, is that it's being there for my children, being there for my friends, for my, being with the people who light me up. So I really, really work hard to find that balance. And sometimes it comes from going for a walk with my kids. Sometimes it, comes from, hey, you know what? I'm going to actually cancel my meetings for this afternoon, or I'm not going to schedule anything so I have time to really spend with my kids. But overall, I think, isn't family the best? They're right. They're the things that get you up. They're the thing, they're the best teachers in the world, at least for me. Right. So it's about how do I keep my family in my main focus, because it really is my true priority in life.
I love when you said spending time with people who light you up. I definitely agree on that one. I'd agree. My kids are definitely the, major part of my world. I love spending time with them. I think it's, I've definitely, as I've got a little older, maybe a little wiser, I definitely have a no arseholes rule. I think, trying to avoid in business or in life, but to be honest, especially with business, I definitely fire some customers who life's too short to work with people you don't like. Doesn't mean they have to be your best friends, but why work with people that just...
Well, and it's really interesting because I can think of at my last organization, one of my peers was like the nicest guy, but kind of an a-hole about the people who worked on our teams and stuff. And I was like, that's not, so I just guess I'm going to agree with you. I'm like that too. Like there's a way that you can work. You don't have to be best friends, but you can treat everyone as a human being, and the hierarchy doesn't really matter, especially, I'm sure, as you know, Leo, right? The higher up you get, there's already a natural like break between people. And so the more you can just be yourself and just be a human being and not worry about the power you have, the better the relationship is. And you don't have to work as hard to like just get along, which truthfully brings a lot less stress to you. So I like your no assholes rule, because I think that, that's just kind of the way the world is. There's so many people out there with judgments today and opinions, and I want to work with people who are looking to solve problems versus just complain about them.
Yeah, definitely. And how does health look for you? Whether that be mental health, physical health, nutrition, what's your health journey like?
So I'm a big health nut. I fully believe in the food you eat, it can affect you, and that your body is a natural healer. So I'm pretty good about, striving always for the 90% whole foods on the plate. So that's one aspect. I do a lot of gardening because that is deeply meditative for me. Like something about getting my hands in the dirt really does help me. It just helps me release a lot of stuff, or it gives me the time to activate. So I'm going to go to the neuroscience background or my human operating system. When you're gardening or you're doing non-specific tasks, when you're just taking a walk, you actually activate a part of your brain that's your most strategic part, and it's called your default mode network. And so something like gardening allows me to look across my life while I think I'm culling weeds. I'm actually strategizing and categorizing, kind of the rest of my life and finding ways to solve problems across multiple different terrains. And so I am a big component of that. Of you got to have, your food, your mental, your exercise. I'm not a gym rat, so I spend a lot of time with instead of meeting for coffee with people, we go for walks, right? Instead of, going to the gym, I'll go for a hike here in Colorado. I just find that it makes me a better person. And honestly, like when I prioritize myself, I find that into my work life, right? That self-care for me actually helps me focus more, work harder, just be more effective than which I've done in the past, which was, answering phone calls till midnight and working yourself to the bone. Like I just don't do that anymore because I don't serve my company. I don't serve my customers. I don't serve, the people I work with. If my well is empty, if I'm not really being mindful of my own health and doing that own self-care that's needed.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think there's too much of, that working yourself to the bone. And to me, that's a lot of what with this podcast is, it's yes, as an entrepreneur, your to-do list is never done. But there's no point in being an entrepreneur if you can't find some balance in that. So yes, there's times that you do need to work 20 hours a day. We all have that.
Yeah.
As long as that isn't the norm.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And what do you like to do for fun?
I like to have fun. I love to laugh. I'm a big concert goer. I love live music. Jam bands are my favorite. I travel a lot. I'm kind of all over the place. I think I have like 5 trips in the next few months. That's been a big shift that I've made recently. I've always been pretty good about doing one international country a year. That's what my family and I strive to do. Since really making the mindset shift of like, hey, the corporate workplace is just not working how it used to, right? Like it feels like we tried to put the pieces back from pre-pandemic, after pandemic, but we all changed. So they don't fit anymore. But one of the big things that I did was really shift and say, okay, I'm going to actually plan my life and figure out how to fit my work in and make up the amount of money I need to make. And that sounds like a little shift and it sounds like a luxury, but it's amazing what has happened when I've now shifted to my trips, my seeing with with my friends, with my family. That becomes my priority. And Leo, it's been amazing the type of other lines of revenue and other avenues in or connections that I make that are naturally filling the pipeline for my company versus me sitting at my computer for 20 hours a day, just pushing myself and grinding and being painful. And so that mindset shift has really helped me to feel a lot of freedom, a lot of lightness, and just do the thing that I love most, which is traveling. How about you?
It's good to know that you've, it's all about that growth, isn't it? I think it's, growing and evolving as we get older. What do I like to do for fun? Exercise is fun for me. So I do I've got into quite a big runner. So I weight lift and I do run a lot. I'm doing marathons and things like that now. Exercise I actually really do enjoy, especially out in nature. I'm not on a treadmill. I'm like where I am here, for example, I'm running along the river. It's beautiful. It's lovely out there. I love spending time with people I care about, wherever I am in the world. And a lot of that is my kids, but it can be friends as well.
Yeah.
So I think, and doing things that whoever I'm with enjoys as well. I don't really have a fixed thing. It's the enjoyment of being with others, I think. And as I said, the running I usually do on my own. That's my solitary. Although I did just join a small running group, just for like a little okay. But the long runs I definitely like to do on my own. But
it's good, right? We all need the connection. We all need to be with people. So that's good. But, you have your own time and you have your group time. But, it's really interesting because I look a lot at like the future of work is really kind of where my company focuses. And that really there seems to be a shift going on among leaders, really shifting to where people are starting to realize that you have to chase your joy. I know in the US, we talk a lot about, I'm triggered by this, or this is bugging me. And what that does is give you a focus where you're looking at what's wrong. And what I'm seeing about within executives and leaders that are actually looking more towards the future is there's a shift in the mindset from looking at what is going wrong to what if it all goes right? What if it all works out? And so we're seeing people who are starting to chase and follow the things that bring them joy. And that is employees, that is leadership. And that is a remarkable thing that it sounds like a small shift, but it literally lightens the mood. It makes individuals happy. It lets everyone connect to their purpose. And so for me, just to kind of, talk about how you said you're chasing your own joy, like that is, I'm always looking for what are the things that are going to light me up. Even if it's something silly, like, I don't know, painting or burning candles or whatever I decide that it is that for that day is the little silly things. And I found that doing that makes it, getting in that practice is just like going to the gym, where when you start looking for the things that light you up, you actually start seeing more because you're building your muscles, your brain muscles, different muscles. But it really does seem like the more you chase joy, the more joy shows up for you when you start just looking for it.
Yeah, I actually was just writing the latest chapter in my Digital Nomad blog, and I said that, you have to organize these things with intention.
Uh-huh.
So whatever those things are, like you're talking about the things that bring you joy, it's very easy to get stuck into not doing any of those things. You have to intentionally plan these things so they happen.
I know.
And
it's really funny.
Sorry, go on.
As well, I'll share with you something I've discovered is that I totally nerd out on whiteboarding. Like I always knew in work, I loved like leading workshops and like I love design thinking workshops and facilitating those and kind of watching people work together. But I also learned in the last couple of years that like I do at least like you said, like I'm very intentional. I give myself a whiteboard, I play my music and I start drawing, I start making circles, but it's got to be on the whiteboard. And it's like crazy the amount of creativity and intelligence and like way things that come together for me that end up helping me not only with work, but with like all parts of my life when I just let myself have this little joy, like I'm a kindergartner writing on the whiteboard, right? Like who knew after all the years I've spent on self-help stuff and therapy, I'm like, turns out whiteboarding is the thing that like completely lights me up and like connects me back to myself.
Again, great that you're finding something that brings the joy for you. And these things change. We definitely evolve and learn new things. And for you, how does a balanced life look?
So I would say that balance does not look like family and work. It looks more like this, right? Like it looks like, right? I've really tried to work to keep my calendar based on the things that I value so that it's like I'm doing the work that really does light me up and I'm not getting hung up in, I should do this. I should send these emails. I should do some more social media posts. I should, connect with my marketing team to have them, amplify this. Like I've gotten away from that and started looking at, okay, what is it that I want to accomplish for the day? And so sometimes that is like, I need to get some stuff done around my house in between my meetings, and that's where it works. Or like I said, I've gotten good at Friday afternoons. My oldest daughter, who's 18 and about to leave for Scotland, is going off to college. So we've been doing we'll go to a yoga class or we'll do like a self-care day on Friday. So balance does not look 50-50. Through my many decades, I have noticed that it doesn't look like, it's not like this and then it ends and it goes there. But there are some days that you have to really just put into work. And there are other days that are really just about being there for your family. So I think balance is really, for me, it's like having integrity with myself, like being honest with myself about what is actually important right now. And everything is not important. That's another lesson I'm learning, right? There's stuff that is totally okay if I move a meeting to next week because something big is going on, right? Like it's funny how the older you get, the more you're like, that it doesn't really matter if this meeting is this week or next week.
Yeah, there's very little that really is time sensitive. And what's been a pivotal moment for you?
A pivotal moment. I think like pandemic was interesting because there was a lot of time for relooking at what I value in life and am I on track? Where does my kind of inner self, where's my higher self really want to, take my journey in this lifetime? So I would say probably the pivotal moment was my husband died of a heart attack at 55 last year. And it was really devastating. We'd been together, we have beautiful family, all of my future plans, right, were mapped out with this person, and that whole future was wiped out clean. So who I was as a partner, as a wife, as a mother, who I'm in work, like all of that, my future plans, right? Everything kind of got wiped out, which was really, really, really hard, deeply, right? It's you have to, I felt like I had the opportunity to either break, which it felt like there was moments, right? Like I've been crying on the floor, but what has come out of that is a really deep look into myself and the ability to see my own strength. So to really start looking honestly at what are things that I need to heal from the past, right? As things come up, what is it that I want to continue doing that maybe has gotten me to where I am in life? And then what else am I like ready to let go of, right? Like one of the things I really had to let go of is kind of the importance of being needed. And that is really something that I noticed at work and I noticed with my husband passing, was that all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have to tie my worth to people needing me. Like I can actually, and I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it was like a pretty deep introspection of like, my time isn't my value. Like it's my whole picture. That's my value. So I feel like I got to a place where I'm okay if I'm just okay with who I am. Like I don't have to be everyone's favorite. I don't have to be at every meeting. I don't have to be in control and a superstar of everything. It's like a little bit of a breaking up with my ego almost, to where I'm like, okay, I'm enough as I am. I can't be less of me. That doesn't happen when you're my age, right? You keep going, you're just going to become more of you. So it was pretty pivotal, and it was honestly the hardest thing I've ever been through. And then probably the digging of like, I had to really dig deep. And a year and a half later, I feel like I'm really proud of my daughters and myself for now creating a business and a company that is built on my purpose, right? It's purpose driven. It's about servant leadership. It's about, yes, I want to help people like leapfrog the learning curve of AI, right? That's the business, help you be a better human being. But in reality, it's about serving humanity, and can we use this technology to do great things for humanity rather than just productivity, build another company that is focused on productivity and efficiency. So it's pretty pivotal.
I love the wisdom that comes with a little bit of age.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully something we can pass on, which actually goes well with my next question, which is, what's one piece of advice you would give to an aspiring entrepreneur?
Keep going. Day after day, it is about getting up and doing it. And even when you feel like everything's falling apart, you're okay, right? Like even I know there's a lot of younger people who are looking at what's going on with the world and they feel like, oh my God, it's going to all fall apart. But if you look back in history, we are not in the worst of times, right? We, even though there's the brink of war and things going on overall, we're doing pretty good globally, but things will get better. And this is just part of what it feels like to be in a transition in life. And so everything that happens today is important, but it doesn't define who you are, and tomorrow is a new day. So keep on going, keep on pushing, keep on digging past your fear that tells you you're not enough, you're probably not right, like all that self-talk. Thank it for sharing you in your mind, and go to sleep and get up the next day and try again.
Fantastic advice. And you.
So you can go to DeepHumanX.com is my company's website, or you can go to LinkedIn. I'm at Lori Kirkland, CCXP. So please connect with me. I'd love to talk with anyone, answer any questions you have about hacking this learning curve with AI, and try to be a better human being at the same time.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Awesome, Leo. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed the conversation, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, and leave a review.